How are you doing today? My name is Lucifer, business and spiritual consultant, and amongst other things, because what else would the devil do if he was on earth? Try to bring you the light of everything, which is the in between of business and spirituality. Let's talk a little bit about, ethical business. Let's talk a little bit about ethical business, man, because I feel like there's a lot of people that don't have there's a lot of people that don't have a knack for business. They don't have a knack for business. And what I mean by they don't have a knack for business, that doesn't mean that they don't have a business or they don't own a business. That's two completely different things. Not having a knack for business is making bad decisions. Making bad decisions, making bad deals and bad decisions. That's what I call about. That's what I mean by not having a knack for business. Some people, you know, um, like I said in my other video, tend to fly by a lot of things. They tend to not take the risk. They tend to not take the journey towards having a successful business. And the thing that's going on right now is a lot of people are discouraging people from having a business and including other people in their business. And the thing is, it's easy to do that, especially nowadays with all the panic that's going on, right? So a lot of people are panicking. I know in my area a lot of people are panicking for good reasons. They're not panicking for bad reasons. They're panicking for good reasons. I'm not gonna lie. They're panicking for good reasons. But the thing is, what you perceive persists, right? What you perceive persists. I'm not saying you should totally like ignore everything that's going on. Give me a second here. I'm not saying you should totally ignore everything that's going on. Let me just put the glass of water, the cup of water closer. I'm not saying you should totally ignore what's going on in the world, but what I'm saying is, where do you put your energy? Do you put your energy into worrying about a specific facet of what's going on, or you're putting more energy in something else? Or you're more worried about yourself as everything that encompasses you, right? Which means, your family, your business, well, your financial standings, your environment, and everything like that, right? Are you putting more emphasis and more energy into that? Or are you um, worried about, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Um, what if this happens? What if that happens? I do it too. I do it too. But it's the amount that counts, right? In this particular case, the amount counts. Because if you put a lot of energy into a specific thing that you're worried about, that's going to persist. So it's not the fact that you care about what's going on that's going to um, make things worse, as some people might think, or some might perceive, right, that to be, which is not the case. The thing is, it's the amount of energy that you put into the specific thing that you're thinking about, right? So if you're thinking about that all the time, that's what's going to happen. But if you don't think about that all the time, there's a very high chance that it's not going to happen. There's a very high chance that it's not going to happen. And the thing is also is that like I was saying, you don't have to worry about, you know, you don't have to worry about all these things. You don't have to worry about, like, you should have some form of worry. I mean, like, it's good to be grounded a little bit to reality, but at the same time, put more energy into yourself than thinking about the thing that could happen, right? Because that's where you become self-destructive, right? That's where you kick down your own sandcastle, right? You started a sandcastle, you started building a sandcastle, and then since, oh well, this is happening or that is happening, I'm just gonna tear it down, and I'm gonna start over from this point instead of continuing from the point I'm already am, right? So not having a knack for business, this is part of not having a knack for business, because a lot of people, not only a knack for business, but what's going on right now with all these people, all these leaders are telling you that go at it alone. You should not go at it alone. And all these leaders end up being right. They end up being right because when you do try to involve other people in your business, it doesn't pan out. The trick here is not to give up. That's the trick. The trick is not to give up. And I know, like, oh, well, it's not easy and blah, blah, blah. I know it's not easy, but that's the thing. Nothing worth having is easy to get, right? Like, nothing worth having is easy to get. So, when you, like, go out and try to meet people to get them involved in your business and you get 100 no's, you get 99 no's, you're gonna get one yes. So the trick is to spend is to have, if you want 5 people, you're gonna have to have 99 no's 5 times over and over again, right? And each of these, 5 periods, there's gonna be one yes. So you're gonna have your 5 do's, right? So the thing is, 99 people saying no is a lot of people, and it's discouraging, and it's not motivating to have 99 no's. But the thing is, if you see it as, instead of seeing it as, oh, 99 people told me no today, right? See it more as 99 people is said no, so the next one, he's the one. You know what I mean, bro? Like, the next one is the one. So you have to be like super excited, because the more people you ask and say no, the closer you're actually getting to the yes. So your responsibility as a person that just started a business or that has a business is to ask as much people as you can and get as much no's out of the way, and then you're gonna get the yes, and then you're gonna be like super excited about it. So now it's gonna be 2 of you. So now and it gets easier as you go along and as you get like more people to get involved in things of that matter. So the thing is, with some people that don't have a knack for business, whether they have a business or not, that doesn't mean you have a knack of business, because some people, like I told you, they just skip over. They just skip over people. They didn't go through all the journey. They didn't start from the bottom, right? They didn't start from the bottom. They got a loan somewhere. Somebody borrowed them money or something like that, and they just skipped ahead, right? So they didn't have to go through researching and getting people involved and things of that matter. And it depends what kind of business you have, because there's some business that you don't really need to do all that. There's some businesses that you don't need to do all that. Like if you have a store, there's some stores that you would have to do that, but there's some stores you don't need to do that. Like let's say a convenience store, right? No puns intended, but let's say a convenience store, you don't really need to, go out and mingle with people. You don't need to like go to a 5 to 9, like a 4 to 5, like a happy hour, and start talking to people, or go to a soiree super dressed up. Just a convenience store, man. Relax. You know what I mean, bro? Like, you don't need to do that, because the people are supposed to come to you. You're supposed to have the convenience store is supposed to have good things in it, like like good candy bars. Like, the better the product is, and from my perspective, the better the product are in the convenience store, the more people would go to your convenience store. That's how I see it. I mean, it might not be you know um absolutely correct, but that's how I see it. Because if I see like a convenience store that has like a bunch of cool stuff in it, there's a very high probability that I'm gonna go there. Like the very high probability. Even if there's other convenience store, even if I'm not gonna buy the things, it doesn't matter. It's just, you never know. Like, you might be, oh well, today, what, this looks good. I'm gonna take this, blah blah blah. So, but in other cases, in other businesses, you do have to market yourself. You do have to promote yourself, right? You do have to promote your business, right? It's like YouTubers. YouTubers have to promote themselves, man. So they have to move around. They have to talk to people. But at the same time, you know, um, they're telling you you have to do it alone. When in actuality, they're not doing it alone. Ain't nobody doing it alone. There's nobody doing it alone. The same people that are telling you to go out and do it alone are not doing it alone themselves. Like, they have a bunch of people backing them. They have access to things. They got YouTube behind them. They have personal friends that's behind them. They have sponsors that's behind them. So you're not alone. You can't tell me you have to start by yourself. Yes, you have to start by yourself. Yes. And the reason why I'm talking about this, because I'm in the same situation too. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm in the same situation too. And I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of no's. You know what I mean, bro? Like, I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of no's. So, because I'm noticing this makes me think that there's something not right here, because I'm not supposed to get this many no's. And I'm not trying to flaunt or be arrogant or something like that. I'm just trying to say, like, there's the media is creating a fear in the business sector. They're creating a fear in the independent business sector, man. And independent businesses are becoming kind of like a stigma, right? It's like, this is what I know from business, and I don't trust it because this person said this and that and this and that, and I saw this guy do this and that and this and that, so I don't trust it, right? But in actuality, there's nothing wrong with this. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are like, I don't like capitalism and stuff like that. I have a hard time understanding why somebody doesn't like capitalism, man. I don't get it. Oh, it was because of the Jews, and they used to take advantage of the Jews and stuff like that. So what? That was a specific person's choice to do that. It's not everybody in business that did that. General Motors used to hire Jews too, but nonetheless, in the 1960s, you know, there were no there was no immigrants in General Motors. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Not in this particular subject. I'm not talking about bad things here. I'm talking about ethical business. But listen, what I mean to say is General Motors in the 60s used to hire people. They didn't hire slaves. They used to hire working class people. So you had to have a curriculum vitae. You had to have like a good CV and all that, right? So they used to hire working class people. They didn't hire slaves. They didn't force people to work there. It was your choice to go over there and get hired by them. So it's not everybody that was like just slaving people, right? And we're talking about the 1920s, 1960s, things, modern, industrial era, something that makes more sense, because we're not going to go back into Egypt time. Oh, the entrepreneur back in Egypt, they were kind of crazy. That's nonsense, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's 3,000, 6,000 years ago. You know what I mean, bro? Like, relax, like, so people today, don't hire slaves. They hire people. It's your choice. If you as an individual and you have a business and you have a certain mindset and you want to, treat your employees like slaves, I mean, that's your choice. That's not capitalism's fault, for you to act like that. Capitalism is just a state of society. It's just a principle, which is not a bad thing. Oh, but what about the pyramid scheme? What about the pyramid scheme? The person on top gets the whole thing and everybody else eats the crumb. Well, it's normal because he put in the work and he's doing, like, he put in the work, right? And he created the business, right? And if you work there or you buy the product, is because his idea was good. So it's normal for him to get the whole cake, right? And the thing is, the thing that I don't like is people take those examples to show you that capitalism is not good. Bro, capitalism is divided towards the individual. It's not, capitalism is not slaving people. Democracy slaves people. Communism slaves people. Even though there might be some good things in communism, that they still slaving people. Dictatorship slaves people. Also the same thing. There might be some good things in dictatorship, but a lot of dictators slave people. They make them work in mines and mega factories and shit, and sweatshops and all that shit, right? That's not capitalism's fault. He's not a capitalist. He's a Democrat. He's not a capitalist. He's a communist. He's not a capitalist. He's a So for me to hear people be like, "Oh, capitalism is not good," I'm like, that's crazy. That's nonsense. Capitalism is freedom. Capitalism is the only principle that lets you be a demagogue. Not that I'm saying that's a good thing, but it's the only principle that lets you live in your own convictions. Democracy, you have to, if everybody votes to jump over a bridge, everybody has to jump over a bridge. You know what I mean? You might sit there and be like, but if we jump over a bridge, we're going to die. But everybody else is like, well, the majority voted that we should kill ourselves. So we all gonna kill ourselves. And you're like, well, I don't want to kill myself. You know what I mean, bro? So democracy is fucking horrific. You know what I mean? It gives no liberty. It gives no quarters. It gives no quarters for free living, for a successful and financially stable or above financially stable area. Democracy is like, well, if tomorrow everybody could wake up, go crazy, or they're all tired of all this, nonsense that's going on right now, and they'd be like, you know what, let's just remove everything and let's just do it like the communists do, right? Let's live like we live in China, be done with it, right? And the country, even though you live in America, a free country, a supposedly, allegedly free country, if everybody votes for that shit, you, as a smart thinking man, you're gonna have to live in communist China. No puns intended. No offense meant. I'm just using that as an example. You know, It it is what it is. So I don't understand people that don't like capitalism. It doesn't make sense. Like I said, people that don't have a knack for business. And it's not an insult when I'm saying not have a knack for business, because you might think it as, well, it does mean I'm stupid. Because, you know what I mean? What I mean by that is you're not used to it. It's obscure to you. It's occult. Business is occult to you, right? And business is occult to a lot of people. A lot of people. A lot of people be like, oh, white man be lucky they have this and they have that. But a lot of white people, they just work, man. You know what I mean? They might have some transcendental money from back in the past, but they work just like you do, right? They don't have, it's not all white people that have a knack for business. Even though we're sitting here and we're acting like that's the case, even though it's not necessarily the case. A lot of white people don't like business as much as the next man. You know what I mean? They don't trust it, they don't like it. And it's only because they're not used to it. Because they saw certain people do certain things. And because of that, they're like, well, I don't want to be like this guy. So I don't like capitalism. I don't like business. But the thing is, look at democracy, right? Because of democracy, we have a whole bunch of nonsensical things going on right now, and you have to take it under account that this all of this doesn't make any sense, bro. Gay people in bathrooms, and little kids wearing makeup at school and shit. That's useless. That is not necessary. That does not help me, bro. Like, even if my kid was gay, bro, hope that doesn't happen. But, you know what I mean? If my kid was gay, right? My little boy was gay, right? I had a little boy, and my little boy is gay, right? And he wants to wear makeup at school. I'm gonna be like, I don't care what the fuck the school says. I'm gonna be like, you're not gonna wear no fucking makeup at school. It's fucking school. You're supposed to go over there to learn. You're not going over to school to, I appreciate that you got a sense of fashion. We're gonna talk about it once you get out of school. But right now, go put some normal pants on, go put a nice t-shirt, and take your fucking school books and go to fucking school, man. You know what I mean, bro? We'll talk about your fashion statements later, bro. Like, so and it's unnecessary, man. It's unnecessary. I mean, look at democracy, and that's democracy that decided that shit. It's not capitalism, man. Capitalism only sells the things you need in order for your child to look like a girl. It doesn't tell you to look like a girl, bro. Like, that's your choice. If you want to look like a girl, that's your choice, man. Like, it's not me. I'm not forcing you to do it. But now you're forcing people to do it, right? Because the majority voted for that. And the majority can be anybody. The majority can be anybody, bro. That's another thing too. That's why it's bad, bro. Let's say you live in a little town, and you live in the country, right? Let's say you live in the country, right? And you're the president of that country, right? And you're having trouble passing legislations and shit, right? Because everybody is voting against your legislations. All you have to do is go to another country, make a deal with that country, and say, hey, man, how about, this and that and this and that and this and that? I'll let you come over my country. You help me pass some laws by voting for me. Well, not don't vote for me, because people are going to know that, I did it. So what you're going to do is you're going to vote for only the legislation. So if you hear these words, these key sentences, right? Like, basically, you have to vote for whatever the government decides is democracy, right? So if you see certain groups and certain people say certain things, vote for this, right? Vote for that. So, like that, even if I'm not in power, my legislations will pass, and me and my associates will remain in power in some shape or form. So you go get 100,000 people or million people, right? You flood them in the country and they all vote for what there's, what you told them to vote for, man. Starting to look familiar? Yeah, it does look familiar because that's fucking democracy, man. It's the majority. And anybody can be the majority. Black people can be the majority. White people can be the majority. Asian people can be the majority. It depends on the point of view or the kind of nonsense that the person in power wants to bring you. That's all it is. So I just showed you how this country has been taken over. And no offense to no immigrants, I'm sure it's not all immigrants that, follow these guidelines. And some of them might not even do it on purpose. It's just that, the government here gave them a chance. The only thing they don't understand is that dude that gave you a chance is not the government. It's somebody working in the government, right? But you're not gonna screw up that chance because they might take your papers away, they might take your shit away and shit like that, and they gonna boot your ass out the country. So that's the reason why some white people are a little bit intolerant. Not all white people. Some white people might just be ignorant, but there's some very smart white people that know that they know what's going on, and they're like, man, that's why they seem or they look racist, but in actuality, it's because they're not expressing themselves carefully, right? And since they're not expressing themselves carefully, or they don't want to say certain things in certain media platforms because it could attract more trouble. Like just me saying that right now, actually, I can catch some flack for that shit because there's a lot of immigrants that run in the country, and they're there to beef up the troops. You know what I mean? They don't just run up the country for no reason. They beef up the country. They beef up the voting, right? So there's a good and a bad into immigration. There's good and the bad into immigration, even for the government. I mean, they might have a group of people to vote for them, but at the same time, those group of people can cause some trouble too. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, whether they cause trouble or not, they still have those votes. At the end of the day, they know where those votes are going. You know what I mean? So anyway, they know where those votes are going, dude. So that's how the country got invaded, man. By people, because people don't have a knack for business. Because people that if everybody had a knack for business, this would have never happened. This would have never happened because everybody would be their own independent local power. There would be their own independent local power. So everybody, it would be a little bit hectic. I'm not gonna lie. It would be a little bit hectic, but it would only be a little bit hectic if somebody comes along with some crazy laws or some crazy legislations, because everybody would be divided in some form, in some shape or form. A lot of people would not be divided too. I think through capitalism we would have, or if you're liberal, we would have been capable of coming to an agreement. After a hard fought battle, we would have been able to come to an agreement at the end of the battle, because just because I don't work at in your area, or I'm not part of your group of people, your association or your industry, that doesn't mean that we don't think the same things, right? At the end of the day, we all like drinking a beer. At the end of the day, we all like smoking a cigarette. At the end of the day, we all like drinking fruit juice. At the end of the day, we all like taking vegetable soup. At the end of the day, a lot of us might be vegan. At the end of the day, a lot of us might be carnivores. At the end of the day, some might love watching non-violent movies, and some might not like watching violent movies. So it's basically out of a system of prejudice that we created this nonsensical bubble of complete absurdity that we have today that we call democracy, right? And it's not really democracy. It's just another form of communism, if you ask me. If you ask me. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but that's how I see it. It's another form of communism. Um, so to go back to what I was saying, um, you gotta you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta put yourself out there. You cannot be afraid. You can't be afraid of me, right? You can't be afraid of me. You can't be afraid of other people like me. You can't be afraid of people, man. Cause I'm telling you, people like me, we can get shit done. We can get shit done. We can work at your place, and we work fine. We work fine. Not everybody's capable of understanding each other. Not everybody is capable of working with each other. But there are people that you can work with. Just because you had a misunderstanding with one person, that doesn't mean you're gonna have a misunderstanding with everybody on the fucking planet. Relax. You know what I mean, bro? Like, you're not gonna have a misunderstanding with everybody on the planet. But the thing is, you have to understand that you have two jobs, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you have two jobs. The first job is to destigmatize business in the eyes of the people, and your second job is to market your business, right? And you have to remember that those are the two jobs nowadays. Nowadays, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about like 20 years ago if people were like that, because I was too young. You know what I mean? 20 years ago, I was too young, so I can't really talk for in the past. But today, as I see it, and as other people see it, because there's billions of videos about people saying that you gotta go at it alone, you gotta go at it alone. There's gazillion, bazillion videos saying that, right? You know, there's people saying that in music, people saying that in TV, movies, all through media access, right? So as of today, and what I'm seeing is, and I'm not gonna say it's a lie, but I'm gonna say it's a lie based off of a truth, right? It's a lie based off of a truthful thing, right? Because you have to get people involved, man. I'm seeing way too many people being afraid of to come into my business, man. You know, I'm seeing way too many people being afraid to do that shit, bro. Way too many. It doesn't make any sense, bro. It doesn't make any sense, man. Like, bro, and you can't be like, you can't see the guy be like, he has a radio show. He wants to be, he's creating events. He has a radio show. He has a YouTube channel. He has this. He has that. And you be like, man, it's all good, man. I like what you're doing, but I'm gonna let you do it by yourself, and I'm gonna sit back and put my hands up and sit back and look at you struggle. You know what I mean? That makes no damn sense, bro. Makes no damn sense. And that goes back to the video I did the other day. Not that it's related, but it kind of made me think about the video I did the other day when I was talking about having a pious life, right? You can't call that pious if you see the guy, shoveling the cart full of he's going out of the mine, the silver mine, and there's like a bunch of silver in the cart, and you're supposed to have a tractor to to push to push that cart, and he's like sweating and shit, and he's trying to push the cart forward, and you just sit there drinking lemonade and you don't care. That doesn't make any sense, bro. That's not pious, man. That ain't pious, dude. It's not pious. You can't sit there and be like, oh man, I'm virtuous and I'm pious because I believe in God. But people are out here pushing carts full of coal and full of iron and shit that's super heavy, and you don't lift a finger. How I don't believe in God, but I don't think God would appreciate people doing that. I mean, if God was real, I don't think he would like that, man. I don't see how he's gonna be like, oh man, you good, man. Even though you let everybody do everything by themselves, man, you good, man. You my dude. You know what I mean, bro? Like, I love you, bro. I love you. Don't even worry about it, man. We good. Come on now. And I'm not saying that to twist your Hibberts, but um, I'm really not saying that to twist your Hibberts, even though I'm very conscious that that's what it might sound like. But somebody has to say it, man. Somebody has to say it. If I don't say it, nobody's gonna say it. So I have to say it. I have to say it. I don't have a choice. I'm really not trying to twist your Hibberts, but I have to say it. And like I said, I'm gonna repeat it again just for you to be sure and clear that I'm not trying to twist your Hibberts. You know what I mean, bro? And if it does twist your Hibberts, well, good, because I'm not gonna sit here and be like, man, I'm goddamn fucking, Flash Gordon up in this bitch, and I can do everything by myself. That's crazy. That's not true. That's fictitious. That's a fantasy. That's a fantasy world, man. That's not real. That's an illusion, dude. That's some Matrix bullshit right there, man. You know. So, man. So yeah, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to twist your hibbers, but if it does, good. you know, I'm not trying to twist your hibbers, but if it does, good, bro. Like, shoot. And at the same time, I'm thinking about the working man that has to go through that, because there's a lot of there's some entrepreneurs out there that are like meditating on that fact, right? So they're waking up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? They drink their glass of water and shit, and they'll be like, and they start meditating. Okay, I have to do this alone. I have to focus. I have to do. No, no, stop saying that. Don't do that. It's not. Stop. Stop. Don't meditate on that. That's atrocious. That's a sin. You're being sinful. You're saying blasphemous things. Don't meditate on that, man. So so at the same time, I'm saying that for these people, because, and I know it sucks. I know it sucks because people will tell you no, because we are not used to it. But it's a transfiguration, that it's a process that we have to go through, and especially right now, it's even harder, since in the minds of people, they have to do things by themselves, right? Even though nobody's doing things by themselves, man. All these videos you're seeing, all these cool people, successful people, they're not doing shit by themselves. Nobody can do. Mike Tyson, greatest boxer of all time, right? After or before Muhammad Ali, I don't know. I'm not sure. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Mike Tyson, they all had trainers to become who they are. And they don't have one trainer. They have a team of trainers, right? Since they were kids. Either their dad used to be boxers, so they started boxing too. But their dad, since the dad saw, or somebody saw that they had talent in boxing, they brought him into a place where, he could practice and evolve in his criteria of athletics, right? So then he meets the trainer, the co-trainer, the dietetics, the physiotherapist, all those people, and all those people work in decadence, right? They work simultaneously at the same time on one specific person in order to push out their potential. So you don't just come out your mom's belly and you start, fighting championship belts, right? It takes time. It takes time, it takes practice, and also it takes a team, because boxing is a team. Money Mayweather team. It's not Money Mayweather Inc. It's Money Mayweather team. And even if you see Money Mayweather Inc., it's incorporated. That means it's a group of people. So whether you see Money Mayweather Inc., group of people, Money Mayweather Industries, group of people, that's what it means. Money Mayweather team, group of people, highest paid boxer of all time, had a team. His dad and grandpa were two great boxers. His dad and uncle are two great boxers. The dad and the uncle taught him everything he needed to know about boxing, and he became world champion multiple times. Highest paid athlete. And the dad knew he had his friends from the boxing community, so they joined in. And the uncle's still alive, and he was a good boxer, so he has his friends. So they're all coordinating together to create Floyd Mayweather's boxing style, or to let Floyd Mayweather's boxing style flourish, right? Because he has his own style. He has his own style of boxing. So it's not just, it's his talent too. It's not just, oh, we take this guy and we're just going to create him. No, he's Floyd Mayweather. He's a person. He has talent. And then he has a team that are capable of pushing his talent to the top. And you have to think the same way. Not as other people, you have to find other people that you can push to the top. You have to find people that can push you to the top. Right? And it's not the same thing as boxing, because they don't have to push you to the top. You're supposed to know how to get to the top. But these people that you have around you support you and help you get to the point that you know that you're capable of getting to. So you can't just tell yourself. So the nonsensical part of telling yourself, oh, I'm going to do it, listening to videos, people tell you, yeah, you got to do it by yourself. You got to do it by yourself. It's bullshit, man. But a lot of things, the part is, a lot of people are listening to that and they're taking it into account, and they get confirmations of that being true. I get confirmations of that being true too. I get it. I get confirmations of that being true too, man. There's a lot of people that I suspected that were going to be perfect for me. There's a lot of people I suspected that was going to be perfect for me, man. I even knew the person was coming before he said it. I remember I was talking to my moms the other day, and I was like, yo, moms, I can feel it. Somebody's going to join in here. I even told her it's going to be a black guy. Shit you not. 2 weeks later, I met a dude, came to my house. 2 weeks later, man. 2 weeks later, after I said that shit. Maybe not even 2 weeks, probably 1 week. 1 week later, I was just randomly talking, because I know the boss of a restaurant near my area. I was talking to him, and there's this guy he was working. He was like putting boxes and stuff, and he overheard our conversation. He was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I started talking to him too. And something clicked, man. Something clicked. Gave him my card. Came by the house. Started talking. He's like, yo, your idea is sick, man. Your idea is sick. Blah, 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 blah. But he ended up telling me that it's not his kind of business. So I was like, man, what just happened there, But it happens. And I was sure, I even predicted that it was going to happen. And it happened. But the person still didn't join in. So I was like, okay, this is kind of the, confirmation of what the fuck these people are saying right now, So, but I don't let that, I reject your reality and I create my own. This is a powerful phrase. This is a very powerful phrase, saying that you reject the reality that's shown to you and you create your own by just saying that, you're going to make your day better. When I look at, like, let's say I look at horoscopes, I look at Aries. Aries always got bad horoscopes, man. Like, they always like bad horoscopes, right? I'm checking out Aries, right? And I'm like, I read something and I'm like, just a bad, you're going to have a bad day. People are going to be mad at you. I'm like, nah, you know what? I reject your reality and I create my own. Poof, the whole thing disappears. Whatever the horoscope tell me, disappear. I'm not talking about no YouTube horoscopes. I'm talking about like real horoscopes that you read in the journal and shit. And sometimes those shits are on the nose, bro. But nowadays I'm like, I choose which horoscope is true for me. So if I read the horoscope and it's good, right? I'll take it. I'll take that horoscope. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna be like, oh, word. That's what I'm gonna happen today, and it happens. And you have a good day. You're like, oh yeah, that was good. That was good. But the days when it's not good, I'm like, nah. I reject your reality. I create my own. Powerful phrase. One of the most powerful phrases you could ever say. It's insane how well it works. It's crazy. So when you see something like that does not serve you, you say no. I reject your reality and I create my own. Works wonders. It works wonders. So anyways, man, this video is too damn long. My name is Lucifer, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.